In this lecture, we're going to investigate special right triangles. Looking at this first triangle, I'm going to mark it as a right triangle, and then the angles are going to be 45 and 45. So the first thing we're going to talk about is a 45, 45, 90 degree triangle. Now you'll notice that this is an isosceles triangle, which means that the sides are going to be the same length. Now we need to figure out what the hypotenuse is going to equal. So we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So my sides are going to be the x's. So I have x squared plus x squared equals c squared. Continue solving, I have 2x squared equals c squared. Now I need to take the square root of c, so I can get c completely by itself. When I take the square root and the 2 cancel out, so I'm left with c. Now on the left hand side, I have the square root of 2x squared. That can be simplified as square root of 2 times the square root of x squared equals c. Now, like what happened before, the square root and the 2 cancel out, so I'm going to be left with x square root of 2. And to write that correctly, I'm going to put the variable first, so x square root of 2 equals c. So in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, both legs are going to be equal to x, and my hypotenuse is going to be equal to x square root of 2. Now taking a look at the second triangle. It's going to be 90 degrees here, the smaller angle is going to be 30 degrees, and the larger angle is going to be 60. Now, this is going to be cut in half of an equilateral triangle. If you remember, equilateral triangles have 60 degrees. So I'm just going to make a side here so that you can see. If I have 60 degrees here, then this angle is going to be 60 degrees, and this full angle is going to be 60 degrees. Now, in an equilateral triangle, all the sides are the same length. So if this is 2 of these, then this is going to be 2 of those. And when I say those, look at this side right here. I'm going to label that side as side x. So on this side here, I have an x here and an x here, which means I have 2 x's. So that means this side is also going to be 2x. So now, if this side is x, this side is 2x, I need to use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out this side of my triangle. So I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. My a is going to be the x, so x squared. I'm trying to find what my b is, and then my c squared is going to be 2x, so I have 2x squared. To continue simplifying, I'm going to have x squared plus b squared equals, when I simplify the exponents, I'm going to have 2 squared, which is 4, and then x squared. Now to get the b by itself, I'm going to move the x squared to the other side. So I have b squared equals 4 minus 1 is 3x squared. Now I need to take the square root of both sides. So the square root and the squared cancel out. I'm left with b equals the square root of 3 squared. I'm going to finish the problem over here. So b equals the square root of 3 times the square root of x squared. The square root and the squared cancel out, so I'm left with x square root of 3. So if I have a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, the short side is going to be x, the hypotenuse is going to be 2x, and my longer side is going to be x square root of 3.